Action News, Delaware Valley's leading news program, with Dave Frankel, Rick Williams, and Monica Malpass.
Good afternoon. The big story on Action News, another heavy snowfall in the Delaware Valley.
Action News crews are live around the tri-state area. Coming up, we will check on conditions in Center City. Down at the Jersey Shore, an area that's expected to see some of the heaviest snowfall. We'll go south to Delaware for a live report from Wilmington. We'll get a check on commuter conditions. And, of course, we'll get the details from Dave Frankel and AccuWeather. And
now the details. The entire Delaware Valley is under a winter storm warning this noon as another round of snow blankets the area with up to a foot of snow now forecast for most of the viewing area. Let's go live to Sky 6 and see the situation at the Jersey Shore. The snow is still coming down, and it is pretty hard at this point. Now, snow has been falling across the area. It will continue throughout the day. New Jersey and Delaware are expected to get the bulk of the storm as it moves up the coast. Accumulations will vary depending on where you live. This is Narberth, Montgomery County, though, this morning, and heavy snowfall here as well. The storm is intensifying, and as it does, we are getting reports of school closings and many cancellations across the area.
Now let's go right over to the weather map with Dave Frankel. He has all the details on this later storm from AccuWeather. David.
Well, Rick, it's another significant winter storm for the Delaware Valley, and you can set your watch by its arrival this morning. AccuWeather said by daybreak we'd be seeing snow, and we did, and now the storm is intensifying. Let's go live on the action cam and show you what the scene looks like. There is a winter storm warning in effect. It's been lengthened and expanded through tonight now, and it now includes the entire Delaware Valley. Winter storm warning in effect through tonight for the entire Delaware Valley. Here's the story as far as how much snow we're likely to get here. AccuWeather says in Philadelphia, in immediate adjacent Delaware and New Jersey, somewhere around 6 to 12 inches of snow. Now, as you go further north and west, you get further away from the center of this coastal storm, so accumulations will taper off just a bit there. 3 to 6 inches in the far northern and western suburbs, and there we're talking about heading up toward Quakertown and Allentown and out toward Lancaster and Harrisburg. But in and around the city, around 6 to 12 inches of snow will fall. Action radar will show us quite dramatically. Boy, this thing is filled in completely. There's the close-up picture. We'll go a little wider now and show you the regional view, and you'll see that there is more on the way, more where this came from on the regional picture. And as we set it in motion, you'll watch it develop since about daybreak this morning. That's when the snow started to overspread the area and just lift up through. You see some of the heavier, darker green areas filling in. That is the heavy snow that's falling right now, and it will continue in those kinds of bands. It is snow, by the way, just about everywhere. We'll break it out and show you. It is snow. Don't look for any rain, and maybe just a little bit of icy stuff well down to our south, down in extreme southeastern Virginia. But it's snow for the Delaware Valley, and it's going to last all day and, in fact, into tonight. Now, Cecily Tynan standing by live outside on City Line Avenue with the latest out there. Cecily, what's it look like?
Well, Dave, I've only been out here a few minutes. I'm already covered in snow. It seems each time I come out here, the snow is falling heavier. And, of course, we have our trusty AccuRuler that helps us get through the blizzard. Now, it really depends on where you measure, but for the most part, it's looking like we have about 3 inches of snow here on City Line. Now, some of the drifts are up to about 5 inches. But we did set a record for snowfall in one storm for the blizzard. We could be setting a record for the season with this storm officially at the airport. So far this season, 45.1 inches of snow. Now that continues to increase throughout the day. The record set way back in the season of 1898-99, 55.4. So if AccuWeather's prediction is right, we could get up to a foot of snow. That means we would set a new record for snowfall in a season. And checking around City Line Avenue, traffic moving very slowly. The roads are coated in snow, and as the snow continues, of course, the situation will be getting worse as the day goes on. That's the situation out here on City Line. Back to you, Rick.
All right, Cecily, thank you very much. Well, the snow began falling in the Philadelphia area about 6 o'clock this morning. Started out lightly and quickly spread across the area. This was the scene in Center City earlier today, and the reaction from most people on this latest storm is, oh no, not again.
We had enough snow. Let it stop, please. I done shoveled about 20 miles of snow.
I was in a hurry and I left without it. Don't you listen to us? All the time. But Frankel warned me this morning. I didn't listen. And? I didn't listen.
Well, you certainly need to listen. You need to pay attention to your weatherman when he says it's going to snow outside. Monica?
And Action News reporters are once again fanned out across the area to provide complete coverage for you of the falling snow and its effects on the Delaware Valley. Let's begin in Center City now. Action News reporter Vernon Odom standing by. Hi, Vernon.
Hi, Monica. Things are starting to get worse here in Center City by the minute almost since we arrived down here about mid-morning. My sense is that a lot of offices will be letting out and sending workers home early this day because of the messy weather, and it's continuing to deteriorate here. One lady said to me this morning, this has been going on for months and months. She's tired of it. It's the same old brewski, she said, and frankly, she's fed up. Center City this morning is cold, gray, and of course, very wet. The streets remain passable, and so do most of the sidewalks. Most with business here are getting around, but many are miserable and tired of this brutal winter.
Everyone made it in, but people are starting to leave early because they're afraid they're not going to make it home. So they want to get out before it starts to ice up.
Are you tired of wintertime?
Of course. Isn't everyone?
We just came down today, just about an hour and a half ago, and it was tough coming down the expressway, but there wasn't as many people as I thought. I think a lot of people just decided to take the day off.
But there are those who claim they love Mother Nature's winter offering of 96.
This is great. I like this winter. This is a real winter for a change. It's been a while since we had one that was real.
It's not stalling you getting your business done today?
Not particularly, no.
It's Friday, and it's a slow day anyway. But I think we're going to be leaving early today, and probably a lot of other people, too.
You tired of wintertime?
No, because I hate the heat of summer.
It's a lot that took off because of the weather.
You tired of the weather?
No, I like this. It's nice getting around. It's cold, but it's nice.
That last young man is Keith Sayers. He's a courier here in Center City and says he's doing fine. But a lot of people aren't. A lot of people are tired and fed up. Your name, young lady?
Tara Linden.
Where do you live?
I live in Jersey.
And you work at a law firm here downtown?
Yeah, I work over in Pond Bank.
What are they saying about cutting off business early today?
Well, hopefully, if this keeps up, we'll be out of here in the next 2 hours or so. I'm hoping. Long trip home.
You tired of wintertime?
Oh, definitely. This is ridiculous. I hope it stops soon.
Thank you very much. She's on her way to lunch. A lot of people are ordering out pizzas. I see a lot of takeout and delivery business going on today. But here again in Center City, a lot of businesses talking about shutting down early today. It's Friday. Vernon out of Channel 6 Action News, reporting live from Center City.
All right, thank you, Vernon. Well, Philadelphia parochial schools are closing because of the snow at 1 o'clock, and city public schools will close early at 1:30. Scores of suburban school districts have also announced that they are closing early today, and officials in Trenton, New Jersey will release students there at 1 o'clock. Let's go live now to Camden, New Jersey, where correspondent Kathy Gandolfo has word of some early school closings there as well. Kathy?
Well, Monica, that's right. Those school closings are starting to come in as fast as the snow is flying. Here in Camden, the children will be dismissed at 12:30. Now, I can tell you it is not good out here. We have been driving around the South Jersey area all morning, and we have found conditions varying from road to road and highway to highway, but in general, it is bad. Here's how it looked on Route 295 through Barrington. The traffic was moving, but visibility was very poor, and you just never knew when you'd hit a slick spot. These cars found out. Further north on 295 near Route 70 in Cherry Hill, slick conditions contributed to this two-vehicle accident.
I was trying to be very careful and go slow, and I always saw was that van come out. It came skidding across from the left-hand lane. It was awful.
Scary, huh?
We're late for school anyway. Now we're not even going.
Rich Wright from New Jersey Department of Transportation's Emergency Road Service used his flashers to help safeguard this area until police arrived. When we were at the scene, they had been waiting for police for about 45 minutes.
They told me that the police was going to take a little long, so I just had these motorists move over to the side.
Because the police are tied up with other accidents.
A lot of accidents.
So police are having a busy time of it today. The roads snow-covered, traffic moving very, very slowly. Bridge speeds are reduced. The speed is reduced on the New Jersey Turnpike. And of course, I don't have to tell you, but I guess I will one more time. Those bridges, those ramps, overpasses, they are the most dangerous parts of the road. Again, as far as school closings, they're starting to come in. We did talk to a few districts who actually have today off for a long President's Weekend. Lucky them. For those that did have to start in this morning, well, it looks like they have an early dismissal. And here in Camden, that'll be the case. Children will be dismissed in about 20 minutes. Reporting live on the Action Cam from Camden, I'm Kathy Gandolfo.
Thank you, Kathy. Now to the Jersey Shore, which is expected to be hit the hardest Action News New Jersey correspondent Joe Torres is in Atlantic City with the story from there. Joe?
Good afternoon to you, Rick. Here, the spectacle of snow at the shore wore off a long time ago. In fact, the last storm, the sentiment was enough. Now, people are just plain tired of it. The plows have passed us by on the boardwalk here 3-4 times already. The snow is still coming down. In fact, it started here at the shore at 8:30 this morning. It didn't take long in Ocean City, an hour after the snow started falling at the shore, and city workers had the salt down and the shovels out. Salt trucks also hit the road early. Further south in Ventnor, the Seagulls had yet another feast of clams along the beach. Up on the boardwalk, not a soul except for Dan Klebitz.
I wanted to walk, get my little exercise, my cardiovascular in. Apparently I can't do that today, but I still came up to see, get some fresh air.
Plows along Atlantic Avenue in Margate also got a jump on this latest storm. The same was true on the boardwalk in Atlantic City, where we caught up with some folks heading to the classic car auction at the convention center.
We sure didn't need any more snow, that's for sure.
Tired of it?
Tired of it, sick of it. Yeah, I'm ready for the warm weather.
Don't want it. Ready for it to go. You've had enough. Yes, sir. Okay. Back live here on the boardwalk in Atlantic City, where, by the way, the schools here in Atlantic City will remain open till regular closing time at 2:15. However, the administration and those folks who normally stay till 4 can also leave at 2:15. Quickly, road conditions. Atlantic City Expressway down to 35 miles an hour, very slippery. And the folks in Cape May County say the same thing. Please use caution. Roads there extremely slippery. Folks in both county public works crews been out all day, the plows and the salt trucks. I'm Joe Torres, live on the Action Cam in Atlantic City.
All right, Joe, thank you.
And we're going to have a lot more snow coverage and other news as well. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
About 40 in Newcastle County alone have been clearing the streets since 5 a.m. Major roads are passable thanks to the plows, but secondary streets are still a mess.
Secondary roads are really slick. It's a wet snow. The surfaces are wet, so places have not been treated and plowed. Very cautious on the secondary roads.
Bill Thatcher says it's later today that poses the most concern for drivers on the highway.
We should start picking up a little over an inch an hour. We're looking at 6 to 8 inches. The problem is Friday afternoon, rush hour traffic will be horrendous. So we have to decide to work in between the traffic and the heavy snow coming. So evening hours will be extremely dangerous.
Now, Bill Thatcher is advising drivers to leave work early if you can. We just got word of major accidents occurring on I-95 northbound from Harvey Road to the Pennsylvania line. That portion of the highway has been shut down because of 6 different accidents. State police say one reason is because drivers are driving without their lights on. It's not only something to do that you should do for safety reasons, but it's also the law in Delaware. So turn your headlights on because there are whiteout conditions right now. I'm Lauren Wilson reporting live on the Action Cam in Newark.
Thank you, Lauren. Back here in Philadelphia, getting around is possible, but driving or taking mass transit will surely take longer to get where you're going. Bigger highways like the Pennsylvania Turnpike are passable, but police say a jackknife tractor trailer is forcing turnpike traffic down to 1 lane eastbound in Charlestown Township, Chester County. Westbound traffic is also being affected at this hour. Highway conditions are deteriorating up and down the turnpike, so caution is a wise choice. Now, this is the Schuylkill Expressway westbound near the Montgomery Avenue exit. You see it was slow going about an hour ago as the snow accumulated. And this is a live Sky 6 look at the Philadelphia International Airport. It is open, but there are cancellations to mention. There are also some delays and other annoyances to expect if you venture to the airport. And as we said earlier, some SEPTA and other mass transit lines are experiencing delays of 20 to 30 minutes or more.
And that is our coverage up to the minute on today's snowfall in the Delaware Valley. Later in the newscast, Dave Frankel will be back with the exclusive AccuWeather 5-day forecast. Of course, stay with Action News throughout the day and into tonight for continuing coverage of the snow.
The heavier snows, again, right now around Philadelphia, visibility down to 0 with heavy snow being reported down through Baltimore and D.C. also. So heavier snows in this area, that's going to continue, and we're looking at over 6, maybe up to 12 inches of new snow. A little bit further to the south, it's snowing also around metro Atlanta, but no fear here because a lot of this will be passing through very quickly. Heavy snows in some areas, though. Looking at snow through Columbia, up through Charlotte and Raleigh-Durham. You're going to get it right in here through Raleigh as this all swings over to the east. We'll be watching that. Now, through the forecast area, things will quiet down quite a bit in the east. Friday afternoon, we've got
intense rate around the region. There is a winter storm warning in effect from the National Weather Service. It has been lengthened now through tonight.
This is a special edition of WeatherScope with the latest winter storm update.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Jill Brown here in the Weather Channel Forecast Center. And yes, once again this afternoon we are talking about yet another winter storm. This one now bringing heavy snow to a lot of the major cities from Philadelphia and D.C. Heavy snow now reported up to New York City and Boston. You'll be next, so it is headed in your direction. We want to first off show you some video from yesterday. This storm was rolling through the plains yesterday. Hit Chicago with light snow. It wasn't such a big deal. It's just kind of a pretty scene. If you don't have it that often, it's not so bad. Light snow, it is accumulating in the grass, and it may be accumulating very lightly on some of the roadways, especially north and west of town. The latest radar showed in western Cobb County and northern Fulton County is probably where the heaviest snow is at this time. It may continue through much of the afternoon. Accumulations in Atlanta, maybe around an inch. So not the kind of thing that you need to get home early because of, but watch the bridges and overpasses in places like Atlanta and Birmingham, Huntsville, and back to Nashville where we had some accumulations earlier in the day. Let's show you what we have out there right at the moment, and we'll show you our storm system, where it's located. It's on the central Atlantic coastline at this time. And yesterday we had 2 areas of low pressure. Today we have 1, pulling in all of that moisture. So these are the areas that are now starting to see heavier snow. Again, from D.C. all the way up to New York City. It's really picking up at this point. Here is our snow history. Now, you notice that back here around Chicago where we showed you that video, no big deal, 1 inch or 2 inches. We actually had heavier snow back around central Iowa yesterday for several hours, but already now we have accumulations right here through central Virginia and on up into Delaware of anywhere from 4 to 5 inches. Baltimore now reporting 5 inches of snow. Here's the latest radar down south. Doesn't look very exciting. We've had reports of light snow Birmingham. On down towards Montgomery, it looks like some snow, but nothing reported yet. And you can see that it's the northwest side of Atlanta where we're seeing the heavier snow. Even down here to central Georgia, Warner Robins and Macon getting some snow. Over towards Columbia and South Carolina, we have some snow. And Nashville, hey, it looks like there may be just a little bit on the west side of town, but the heavier stuff is definitely a little farther up the road. And when we take a look at our next radar, you can begin to see these bands of darker green. That's where the heavier snow is. Lynchburg, again on up towards Wilmington and Delaware. Also D.C. and Baltimore have been reporting fairly heavy snow. Past few hours, Baltimore, the last check, 5 inches on the ground. And Washington, D.C., you've already had about 46 inches so far for the season. And it's been one busy season. It looks like it will continue. Okay, Boston, we have no snow reported there yet. As you can see, that heavier snow is now coming in. It's all the way through this area, and it is really accumulating. South Weymouth reporting some snow, and Boston, it looks like if you're not getting a few flakes, especially on the southwest side of town, it won't be long. This is what's